Arun was born in a small, quiet village nestled at the edge of a dense forest. Life was simple and predictable. Most families, including his, depended on farming for survival. Arun's father was a kind but stern man, and his mother was a gentle soul who often told him stories of the world beyond the forest. These stories filled Arun with curiosity and a longing for adventure. But Arun's family was poor. Their small farm produced just enough to survive. Arun would spend his days helping his father in the fields and his nights dreaming of a better life. The village elders often spoke of how people like them were destined to live and die in the same place, but Arun refused to accept this. He wanted more. One rainy evening, while Arun was helping his mother fix the roof of their hut, a strange man arrived in the village. He was tall, with sharp eyes and an air of mystery about him. He claimed to be a trader who had come from a distant city. The villagers were both intrigued and cautious, as strangers rarely visited. The trader spoke of the city's grand markets, its towering buildings, and the endless opportunities for those willing to work hard. Arun listened with wide eyes. He approached the man and asked, "Is it really possible for someone like me to succeed in the city?" The trader smiled and said, "The city is like a great ocean. If you are brave and determined, you can find treasures. But if you hesitate, it will swallow you whole." These words stayed with Arun, fueling his determination. A few months later, tragedy struck. Arun's father fell ill and passed away. The loss was devastating, and the burden of supporting the family fell on Arun's young shoulders. Despite the hardships, he continued to dream of a better future. One day, Arun made a bold decision. He told his mother, "I will go to the city. I will find work and send money home. It's the only way we can escape this life." His mother was reluctant but saw the fire in his eyes. She gave him her blessings, along with a small pouch containing all the money they had saved and a pendant she had always worn. "This will keep you safe," she said. Arun's journey to the city was long and exhausting. When he finally arrived, he was overwhelmed by the noise, the crowds, and the towering buildings. It was nothing like the peaceful village he had left behind. But Arun was determined to make his mark. At first, finding work was almost impossible. Arun knocked on countless doors, only to face rejection. His money began to run out, and there were nights when he went to bed hungry. But he refused to give up. One day, he met an old man named Rogov, who ran a small tea stall. Seeing Arun's desperation, Rogov offered him a job cleaning tables and washing dishes. Though it wasn't the work Arun had imagined, he accepted it gratefully. He worked tirelessly, earning just enough to survive. Over time, he learned more about the city and its people. He noticed that the wealthy often ignored those who struggled, while the poor looked out for each other. One evening, while cleaning tables, Arun overheard two customers discussing a construction project. They mentioned that the site was looking for laborers. Arun saw this as an opportunity to earn more money and immediately inquired about the job. The next day, he went to the construction site and was hired. The work was grueling, but Arun didn't mind. He carried bricks, mixed cement, and worked under the scorching sun. His hands became calloused, and his body ached, but his determination never wavered. He saved every rupee he could, sending most of it back to his mother. Months turned into years, and Arun's hard work began to pay off. He learned new skills, such as masonry and carpentry, which earned him more responsibilities and higher wages. His supervisors noticed his dedication and promoted him to a supervisory role. Arun's confidence grew, but so did the challenges. One day, Arun discovered that some of his co-workers were stealing materials from the construction site. When he confronted them, they threatened him, warning him to stay silent. Arun knew he couldn't let this go on, as it would ruin the company and cost everyone their jobs. He gathered evidence and reported the theft to his supervisor, who was impressed by Arun's courage and integrity. The incident earned Arun the trust of his employers, and they offered him a position in project management. It was a significant step forward, but it also brought new responsibilities and pressures. Arun worked tirelessly, often staying up late to learn about construction planning and budgeting. Despite his success, Arun couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. He missed his mother and the simplicity of village life. One day, he received a letter from his mother, telling him about the struggles the villagers were facing due to a drought. Arun knew he had to help. He took a portion of his savings and returned to the village. Seeing the barren fields and the despair on people's faces broke his heart. Arun used his knowledge and resources to dig a well and introduce irrigation techniques, which transformed the fields. The villagers were overjoyed, and Arun's mother couldn't stop praising her son's efforts. But Arun's journey was far from over. Back in the city, he decided to start his own construction company. It was a risky move, but Arun believed in his abilities. He used his savings to buy equipment and hire workers, many of whom were from his village. The early days were tough, with tight budgets and fierce competition. But Arun's reputation for honesty and quality work helped him win contracts. As his company grew, Arun became a symbol of hope and inspiration. He provided jobs to the unemployed, supported charitable causes, and mentored young people who shared his dreams. But success also attracted enemies. One day, Arun received an anonymous letter demanding money and threatening harm to his family if he didn't comply. At first, he dismissed it as a prank, but when a second letter arrived, he realized the threat was real. Arun decided to confront the situation head-on. He reported the matter to the authorities and hired security for his family. The threats continued, and Arun discovered that a rival businessman was behind them. The man wanted to sabotage Arun's company and take over his projects. Arun gathered evidence and presented it to the police, who arrested the rival. Though the ordeal was stressful, it taught Arun the importance of staying vigilant. He became more cautious but never let fear dictate his actions. Arun's company continued to thrive, and he used his success to uplift others. Years later, Arun stood on the rooftop of a building he had constructed, looking out at the city that had once seemed so intimidating. He thought about the boy who had left his village with nothing but dreams and a pendant from his mother. Arun's journey had been filled with challenges, but he had overcome them with hard work, courage, and an unwavering belief in himself. As the sun set, Arun smiled, knowing that his story was far from over. He had not only built a better life for himself and his family but also for countless others who believed in the power of dreams.